Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bringing you an NFL Week 3 preview between the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints. Let's look at the Chiefs in this ball game. Right off the bat, offensively, I think they can attack the Saints vertically down the field. We know Patrick Robinson can't find the football. We know Roman Harper struggles in pass coverage. I think the Chiefs can have some success throwing the football vertically down the field. So if Matt Castle is going to have a day where the passing game comes alive, this could be it. Look at guys like Dwayne Bowe, Jonathan Baldwin, Steve Bresson. Those guys can have success. Tony Moeaki, the tight end, attack vertically versus the Saints defense, and the Chiefs can't throw the football all over the field. And you look at the fact that Jamal Charles on the perimeter, two things that does. It gives him a chance to utilize his speed and also puts pressure on the Saints defense to make a tackle. They struggle versus the outside run, and I think that's where Charles can have an advantage. And you want to utilize those route combinations that confuse the defense, where they have to make a choice. I'm talking about a dig with a post behind it, the slant out combination, those type of routes that can help you have an advantage versus the Saints. Now defensively, you can go single high versus that Saints passing game. They don't have the speed burner right now to take the top off of a defense to threaten you to have two safeties back there. Right now, you only have Colson to worry about. You don't have to really worry about Henderson. I don't think he's going to be healthy. And they don't have Meacham anymore, so there's no deep threat to force you to play two safeties. Identify the personnel groupings. When Mark Ingram comes in, it's going to be a run play up the middle. When Darren Sproles come in, be alert for the screen. So identify the personnel groupings of the Saints and get yourself in better position. X factor has to be the aggressiveness of the defense. You got to stay aggressive versus the Saints offense in order to have a chance. Now for the Saints in this game, the situation and the Saints personnel calls for the Saints to take the football out of Drew Brees' hands and place it right there in the belly of those running backs. The Saints have amazing depth in the backfield. Run the football with that depth. You don't have the strength at the wide receiver position that you're used to having. Run the football, that's where the advantage lies. So I want to see more ace formation this week anyway. Two tight ends, widens out that 3-4 defense and runs the football, and I think that's where the Saints can have an advantage versus Kansas City. Now defensively, I think the Saints personnel is not suited for a 4-3. I think they're more suited for a 3-4. You look at your 5 technique possibilities with Cameron Jordan and also Cedric Ellis, and you could have Hakeem Nicks in the middle. You have linebackers. You could put Will Smith as a linebacker, as that James Harrison type of guy, and that way you have Lofton, Hawthorne, and Casillas and Junior Gillette and Martez Wilson, all those guys actively rushing the passer. I think that's where the Saints need to go. And they could possibly get Roman Harper in a better situation to play some better defense than he's doing right now. And you want to force Matt Castle to make quick decisions. So I think getting pressure on Castle forces him to get rid of that football quickly, and that's where the ball comes out, and that's where the Saints can jump routes, rally up, and also make the tackle. X factor in this game has to be coaching and the adjustments. You got to make halftime adjustments. You got to understand personnel and do a better job of coaching it. Now let's look at the personnel of both teams and the personnel breakdown to see where the liabilities lie in this matchup. And I think obviously the Saints have the advantage at the quarterback and running back situations. But when you look at the offensive line and defensive line, I think Kansas City is very equal with New Orleans. I like their offensive line actually better, and they have the personnel at the linebacking position and in the secondary. So I think defensively they are a lot better than New Orleans. I know they've given up a lot of points, but personnel-wise, they are better than the Saints. Now, when you look at these two teams, both teams are desperate for a victory in the worst way. I think New Orleans wins this ball game. I think the light finally comes on for the coaching staff to understand personnel, and they will run this football, shrink the ball game, and keep that defense from being on the field for so long.